Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Our American forces showing their strength as only they can. Seconds away from kickoff, a cool day, sun peeking in and out. And there's a look at the man who's been cool thus far, Jim Harbaugh, his first year as 49er head coach and as an NFL head coach, the first 49er head coach to win both his home and road debuts. And as we mentioned in the open, he's instilled a new kind of attitude to this team. On the flip side, Andy Reid, his 13th season as Eagles head coach. And he has mentioned we need more offensive balance and we need more big plays in chunks.
Interesting in talking to Andy Reid. You know, normally when you talk to Andy Reid and he talks about balance, it's because he's throwing the ball too much. Right. This year, it's just the opposite. He felt like maybe they gave the ball to their running backs a little bit too much, in particular LeSean McCoy. They gave him the ball 25 times last week. They'd like to keep that number around 19 or 20.
McCoy, 24 carries, 128 yards and a touch. The Eagles will receive the 49ers, and their very odd kickoff coverage setup will kick it away. The Eagles have beaten the Niners 5 straight since '05, but the 49ers have an all-time record of 9-4 here in Philadelphia. Dion Lewis back deep to receive the kick with a 21-yard return average. That one's low, it's hot, and it's out of the end zone for a touchback. So Mike Vick will start things off. Vick, he's been the topic of discussion. We talked about it on the pregame show. You did a nice little insert there. Concussion 2 weeks ago. Thought to be a broken hand. Found out it was just a contusion, which is a very bad bruise. But yet he's got that special glove on the non-throwing hand as protection. They'll start at 1st and 10, 2 tight end set. Boot. Play action down the middle of the field, going deep outside to Jackson, and he's got it. No, he dropped it. Right in his hands. A bit underthrown, but it was there working on Carlos Rogers.
You see right there the plan right off the get-go for taking care of Mike Vick. Get him moving to the edge of the pocket, max protect, and we know that he can throw the ball deep. We saw him do this Friday in practice. We saw this particular play, and boy, can he jet it out there. Unfortunately there, just a little bit underthrown, and the receiver couldn't come up with it.
And we saw that in practice also. The deep ball, Michael Vick just didn't have the same zip on the ball that you might expect. Second throw. No place to go. Vick out of the pocket. And Vick with a nice gain. He'll be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first. A look up front. We've talked about Vick. LeSean McCoy has been outstanding, over 100 yards last week.
It's the speed of those two receivers that scares a defensive coordinator. Macklin and Jackson are two guys that can just fly. They break down man coverage and they break down zone coverage.
New faces there, Devan and Mathis. Mathis coming in for Cincinnati as a free agent. Devan picked up on waivers from the Indianapolis Colts, 3rd and 2. Quick outlet throw. McCoy going nowhere. Great hit in the open field by Navarro Bowman. And that will bring on the punt team for the Eagles.
That's a good start for the San Francisco defense there. Mike got out and ran a little bit on 2nd down, but they were stopping him on 3rd and short. And if you can get off the field in 3rd and short on the road early in the game, then that gives your offense and your defense a lot of momentum.
Bowman, the Penn State product, coming up with a nice play. That's Chaz Henry, one of 2 Henry kickers and rookies on the team. Ted Ginn Jr., the return man extraordinaire, not able to get a whole lot. Good coverage by the Eagles. That's Jason Avant. And an early call here. We'll check in with our referee, Alberto Riveron, for the infraction.
Holding number 49 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's going against Bruce Miller, the fullback. And Alex Smith has gotten that new type of confidence we talked about in the Open, Jim.
Well, he looks different. He looks different in the face when he's faced with adversity. You know, we did his game last week. He got hit a lot early. And in the old days, Alex Smith would become very frustrated. He would have become very dramatic in his actions. And last week, he was calm, and he was focused, and he looked confident. I think having Jim Harbaugh as his head coach, a guy that's played this game, played the position that Alex plays, has really helped Alex. And then the other thing, Ronnie, is they're not asking him to do things that he's not capable of doing. They're playing to his strengths. They're throwing the ball short. They're trying to run the football, and he's been very efficient so far this year.
Davis across the formation, then returns. This will be Hunter. Hunter subbing for the injured Gore. And Hunter with a decent run, more than a decent run, on first down. He'll have at least 5. The 49ers up front. Kendall Hunter, he's just a rookie. He stepped in last week toward the end of that game against Cincinnati for Gore, who was fighting a bad ankle. And he made some big plays that probably helped them win the game in the end.
You know what? He's an explosive runner. He's got a low center of gravity. He's got some burst. He's got that ability to bounce the ball outside that maybe Frank Gore doesn't give you.
He picks up 7. Quick screen, and it's dropped. Well, they call it a fumble. Delanie Walker never got the handle, but they're signaling Eagle ball. So the quick screen to Walker. Walker, it hit his chest, bounced off. They call it a fumble, and the Eagles recover.
That's uncharacteristic of Delanie Walker. This guy is a very solid receiver. You know, this it's not a long throw, and it came with a lot of heat, but still, Ronnie, he's got to make that catch.
I don't know that he had full possession of it. A marker's down.
Tripping, number 76 on the offense. A penalty is declined. First down.
Are they calling that a lateral, Ronnie? That
yeah,
might be
that's the case.
That was a lateral rather than a forward pass, and you can see that Harbaugh certainly will challenge this.
It was recovered by Nate Allen. Anthony Davis got called for the tripping. And Jim Harbaugh has thrown the red flag. Talking it over with Al Riveron.
And here's a look at it here. That's going to be close. And I can't tell, and as we know, the rules state that if there's not indisputable visual evidence, then the call on the field stands. Now, when you look at it here and you look at the position of Alex Smith with regards to Delanie Walker, then you would say that that's a forward pass.
Brian Roll strips the ball out there. Jamar Chaney was there as well. So already here in the first quarter, we've got a discussion on the sidelines. A challenge flag has been thrown.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
Okay, I'm looking at this wrong, Ronnie.
Maybe not. We'll clear it up when we come back. 0-0. Just getting started here in the first.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Ron Pitts, Jim Mora here in Philadelphia. We are in challenge mode, and right now we're going to bring in our official expert here at Fox from all the way out on the West Coast, Mike Pereira. Mike, we've got a situation there. Was it a lateral? Was it a forward pass? The pass didn't look like it was caught by the tight end.
Well, I think you take out the whole notion of whether it was caught, complete or incomplete. They're going to look at whether it was forward or backwards, and you got to go from the release point, is where the quarterback releases the ball, to where it's first touch. And if you look at the shot here, you can see that the release point is like the 27, first touch at the 26, not a completion. So they've got to reverse this to an incomplete pass that will give San Francisco the ball back.
The receiver does not possess the ball, therefore it is an incomplete pass. There was a foul on the play, tripping by the offensive team. There will be a 10-yard penalty charge against Philadelphia. San Francisco will not be charged with a timeout. Clock operator, please reset the clock to show 12:54. 12:54, please.
Okay, so there's the decision by Al Riveron, Mike, and basically it's an incomplete pass, but we assess the penalty yardage on the back end there from San Francisco.
And what you do is when you decline the penalty on the initial ruling, you got to bring it back when it's actually reversed to incomplete. Good job by that crew of getting all those things pieced together.
Mike Pereira, thank you very much, Mike. So, settled?
A lot going on right there.
A little of everything. Bottom line, incomplete pass, a penalty. The 49ers march back. 2nd and 13. Play action pass, pressure, middle screen, and there's Hunter. Hunter gets it all back and then some as he pushes out to the 35-yard line.
That's a great call there by Harbaugh. You know, one way to combat pressure and a great pass rush, and the Eagles have an outstanding pass rush, is run the football, which they did successfully on the first play of this drive, and then when you get in a passing situation, throw screens. Screens will always neutralize a rush because the guys start thinking, can I get up the field?
Roll on the tackle, a pickup of 18. There's Frank Gore. Gore is through. And Gore in the Eagles' territory. Another big gash. A missed tackle there by the safety, Page, but Gore takes it all the way down to the Eagles' 25-yard line, a 40-yard play.
Well, this is just a problem that the Eagles have had for 3 weeks, and it's cropping its ugly head early. This is just an inside trap, and there is no one at home in the middle of the defense. Frank Gore has a gaping hole, gets into the secondary, makes Page miss, and gets some extra yards.
Play action, here comes pressure, and he throws it down. Intended for Hunter. And going back to that, Jim, the Eagles ranked 12th in the NFL in total defense, but 30th against the rush.
Well, I don't know why you'd even drop back and throw the ball against this Eagles defense right now until they can prove that they can stop the run, which they haven't. All right, 2 carries so far for 47 yards for the San Francisco 49ers. I think what you're going to see from Jim Harbaugh is he's going to say, you know what, pound them until they prove they can stop it.
Hey, Raider.
Walker set up in the backfield. They'll pass again. The outlet throw, Hunter. Hunter's hit hard. Page came flying up from the safety spot and nailed him. Hunter couldn't hold on. Page brought in this year as a free agent from the Patriots, 6-year man out of UCLA.
You see Hunter on the swing route here. This might be, he just takes a peek up the field at Page before he gets the ball securely caught. And now you're facing a 3rd and 10 after a 40-yard run. I would have liked to have seen the San Francisco 49ers come back with another run.
He heard and saw footsteps. 3rd and 10. Smith lets it fly, and it's incomplete, intended for Crabtree. But all over it, Brian Roll. We've mentioned his name a couple times already today.
You know who this kid reminds me of is the great Sam Mills. He's about 5'8". He's got great leverage. He's a passionate football player, a student of the game. You saw how excited he got right there after making the stop. This is a guy they're very excited about. This is his first start for the year, and I think he'll play very well. Going back to the 49ers, when you break a 40-yard run, conventional wisdom in the NFL says run it again because the defense is tired. They come back with 3 straight passes, and now they have to attempt a field goal.
The former Eagle, 12 years here, David Akers, misses off to the left, a 44-yard attempt, and Jim Harbaugh is hot.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
So you saw Jim Harbaugh going crazy there before he went to break, and The reason most likely is regarding Jason Avant, who leaped over the line of scrimmage.
When you look at it here, you cannot gain leverage when you jump over the pile, and you saw Avant's left foot on Brian Jennings' back, gaining leverage to try to block that kick.
Landed on 2 49ers, primarily the center, Jennings. 1st and 10 throw, and Avant in the picture again. Catches that one close to a first down.
Let's go back to the missed field goal, and you see Avant here in the middle of your screen, and he will use his right hand initially to propel himself up into the air. Then his left foot right there is on the back of Brian Jennings, and that's called leverage. He's not just using his own impetus to get over the line of scrimmage, but he's able to propel himself off either one of his players or one of the defending players. And Jim has a point there.
Was not called. Pickup of 9 by Avant. McCoy inside for the tough yards, and he'll have the Eagles first down. Smith on the tackle.
I like the way the Eagles are using Mike Vick thus far in the game. Ron, you've seen him on the move on all 3 of his passes. Now, not necessarily trying to break contain, but setting up behind a solid offensive line outside of the perimeter of the pocket.
8-play drive, 55 yards. And the 49ers get nothing from it. The miss by Akers. The roll throwing deep. And it's covered now, picked off. That's Carlos Rogers. And Rogers with a healthy return back up to the 40-yard line. Intended for Deshaun Jackson, but another ball underthrown by Vick.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon 4G LTE, built so you can rule the air. By DirecTV, this season NFL Sunday Ticket is included when you switch. And by Chase, don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom.
Justin Smith and Paris Harrelson on the pressure there on Vick, and turnovers have been an issue for Vick this year. 7 fumbles, 3 lost. Now an interception here today.
I had just said I really like the way they're getting him out of the pocket, and then he gets out of the pocket and gets hit. Shows you what I know.
Hunter stopping his feet. And a gang of green on the tackle, maybe 2, led by Jamar Chaney. Let's go back to the interception.
Well, you look at Mike here, and it's play action. It's just a half roll, so he's going to set up behind the tight ends. One thing that we've seen, Ronnie, on the 2 underthrown throws to Jackson is he's throwing the ball off of his back foot. That time he did it because he felt pressure. The first time, it just seems that if there's anything near him, he's a little hesitant to step into the throw. He's going to need to overcome that in order to have success today. And that's a mental thing.
2nd and 8. Hunter trying to get outside, can't do it. Nice play there on the pursuit by Trent Cole. A loss of 3.
Mike struggled here this year. You can see that, Ronnie. He's turning the football over too much, whether it be fumbles or interceptions, and he's got to be more secure with the football. It looked to me like on that throw, he almost predetermined that he was going to throw the ball deep, and then when he didn't have time, he didn't have a chance to reset his mind and find the check down.
3rd and 12. Movement early, looked like Staley went.
False start, number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
And Jim, that's been an issue, especially on that side. The 49ers came into the game with 7 false start penalties.
Yeah, they have had real problems with their pre-snap penalties. One of the most penalized offenses in the National Football League. And here comes Kaepernick for Alex Smith.
So Colin Kaepernick, the rookie quarterback, 2nd-round pick out of Nevada, will check in. They did a little of this in the preseason. He's played some different positions, but he'll line up at the quarterback. And play is stopped.
Prior to the snap, San Francisco called a timeout.
We talk about their offensive penalties, putting them in precarious positions. They find themselves now in a 3rd and very long. When you're a team that can't throw the ball down the field, this is not where you want to be. They need to get more discipline on their offensive football field.
Jim, explain that one to me.
Well, you bring Colin Kaepernick in because you are in a situation where you need to get outside the pocket. You're going against 2 outstanding pass rushers. He's not going to have time to sit in the pocket and complete a ball on 3rd and 17. So they're going to move him. They're going to get him out of the pocket, buy some time for the route to develop down the field, or they're going to hand it off, Ronnie.
And they do, and get very little out of it. That just sets up a nice punt. But what's the point of the timeout?
You know, they weren't aligned correctly. Sometimes when you bring a quarterback into the game like that, you'll have some miscommunication. If he's not prepared to go on the field, maybe they called the formation wrong. I can understand the philosophy of trying to get him out of the pocket, which is what it looked like they were going to do before the timeout. But I don't understand when you've got a quarterback like Alex Smith taking him out of the game on 3rd and 17.
So Andy Lee, standing at his 25, ranked 3rd in the NFL, will punt it away and does not get a good one. He shanked one early last week in the game against Cincinnati. Shanks that one.
Well, part of that is a function of having
Deshaun Jackson back there.
Deshaun Jackson back there.
That's right. A lot of kickers will try to directionally kick away from him. 37 yards on the punt. More Vick in the Eagles offense coming up. You know, talking to the people here in Philadelphia, the fans, if you ask them it's a must-win, they'll say, well, maybe not this early, but it's one of those you better win situations for the Eagles.
Yeah, and Mike told us on Friday, hey, guys, this is a must-win game for us this early in the season.
They move up for protection. Schmidt lowers his shoulder, runs a man over, and will be out to the 1st down. Madieu Williams caught the shoulder on that one.
I like the way the Eagles shift into a no-back formation. You call that an empty formation. Invited the pressure, which they got, and then found Schmidt in the flat wide open.
You know a little about Schmidt now, one of your former guys there in Seattle.
I like Owen. Owen's a tough guy. I'll never forget the first game I coached him. He came out on the field pounding his helmet against his head. We had to have a little talk in my office on Monday about the image that projected to the youth around the world.
He would bleed down by his nose, and everybody gets fired up a different way. A pickup of 11. The hot one. Macklin across midfield. For our first game break of the day, out to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Well, Ron, you and Jim are both defensive guys, so you'll probably like this. Cam Newton back to pass. Deflected and into the hands of DJ Moore. He takes it back 19 yards for the pick 6. And the Bears are on top of the Panthers at home, 10-3 late in the 1st.
Always like a good defensive play, Ronnie.
Bears trying to get things going there. 2 teams in the NFC North, 3-0. Green Bay and Detroit. They need a win. A pickup of 19 on the last play. Vick with plenty of time. No complaints about being on your back there for Michael Vick. He throws another heater. That's to Clay Harbor, the tight end. And another 1st down.
This is where you've really seen Mike Vick develop. His offensive line and his backs do an excellent job against the 3-man rush of buying him time. He stands in there patient, great footwork, and delivers a strike down the field. Mike's always been able to put that ball into tight windows, but when you give him that much time and he's that comfortable, he becomes a very, very accurate thrower.
Fake the end around. McCoy outside, no place to go. Make the best of it. About 3. Aldon Smith on the tackle. Mike Vick had made it public this week, not happy with the no calls that he feels he's getting in the pocket or after throws, not getting the calls for getting hit late.
Well, there's an inconsistency around the league right now in how they're protecting quarterback. I think the league is very clear in what they want. It's just the fact that you've got different crews deciphering it a different way. And I think that Mike did have a point in a couple of situations, but I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that have a point.
Inside handoff, Ronnie Brown. You talk about your pick of weapons. Ronnie Brown, Mr. Wildcat, he rips off 15.
Ronnie, you mentioned an inside handoff, and you mentioned the weapons. When you can bring a Ronnie Brown in there and have LaShawn McCoy in the backfield, you know, who do you stop? Who do you defend? You got Selleck, you got Jackson, but then Mike with the reverse out and the underneath handoff there, reversing all the way out and giving it to him on the inside part of his body. That's a good-looking play.
Nice block there by Todd Hermans, the right tackle, coming around, leading on the run. Pressure outside. Ahmad Brooks gets inside, and he's got Vic. No! The throw in the end zone, touchdown! Clay Harbor. And that is the vintage Michael Vick that Eagles fans have been waiting for this season. He steps up, avoids two, and fires a strike. Extra point by Henry Clean. And so the Eagles march it down the field, use all of their weapons, I might add, Coach, and put up a quick 7 here with 4:08 to play in the first quarter.
Yep, you saw the fullback catch the ball, you saw Ronnie Brown, you saw McCoy, and then you saw the magic of Mike Vick here against pressure. Boy, you know, you think you got him, and you don't, and it just puts so much pressure on your secondary down the field to maintain coverage. And guy, you know, there's an internal clock in the defensive back's head that says, you know, the quarterback should be down by now, or he should have thrown it away by now. But when you're playing Mike Vick, you've got to eliminate that clock, and you've got to play until you hear the whistle, and it's just not natural.
Jimmy, you coached Michael Vick down at the Atlanta Falcons there, and you've seen some great moves. You probably saw a couple in practice that were worthy of a Hall of Fame highlight tape, but that move that he put on McDonald will rank up there as one of his best ever.
Well, he's had a lot of best evers. I think every game he gives us a best ever. So that was this game's best ever. He sure is fun to watch. And now, he's not fun to watch if you're Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, who's charged with stopping him. But for a fan, for those watching at home, this is what you pay for.
And that's the second career touchdown for Harbor, the second-year man out of Missouri State. 4th-round pick last season. Alex Henry kicking away. Ginn Jr. stopping his feet. That's never a good sign on a kickoff return. Well, baseball is here. The regular season has ended, and an unbelievable night of drama about to unfold. Now the American League's 4 remaining teams will look to their brightest stars. Which one will lead them to the ALCS, one step closer to the World Series? Fox's coverage of baseball's postseason begins Saturday with Game 1 of the ALCS at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. The Yankees with a 1-0 lead. You knew the rain would come back and haunt the Tigers the other night. And the Rays and Rangers, that series tied up 1 apiece. 1st and 10. Smith with a nice catch by Crabtree. Michael Crabtree will lunge for the first down, at least 11.
That's how you want to use Crabtree right there. He's a big physical guy, long arms, big hands. You let him run down the field, shield the defender, and then throw it up high where only he can get to it. This guy coming out just had amazing ability to snatch the ball cleanly out of the air, and that was an excellent example of it there.
10th overall pick back in 09 out of Texas Tech, and that high-powered offense down there. Good choice of windows there by Smith. He hits Walker inside. Jared Page there on the coverage and the tackle. A pickup of 5.
Good protection, but you mentioned it, Ronnie. Really a nice job by Alex Smith there of being patient in the pocket, reading through his progressions, and coming back to Walker down late. That's what you see out of this guy now. No panic. Much more comfortable in the pocket, much more comfortable with what they're asking him to do offensively, and that's a credit to Jim Harbaugh. Got a nose guard in at wing here.
There he is, and he's in motion. That's big Isaac Sapuaga. He's going to wham on somebody. There it is. Handoff inside. Gore, and Gore taken backwards. Antonio Dixon is there, along with Foku. And an injury, looks like that's Staley. The tackle, slow to get up. We'll check on Staley when we come back. Eagles up 7, counting down here in the first quarter. '49er medical staff attending to Staley. Looks to be okay. Takes a swig of water on his feet. Alex Boone, second-year man out of Ohio State, checks in Staley's place.
Boone's going to get one play here, and then Staley will come back. And this is a big, tough guy. It looked like he got his hand caught up in there. And it's tough to keep those offensive linemen off the field. You talk about tough guys. Those offensive linemen, they are built a little bit differently.
3rd and 3. Smith, complete. Crabtree, first down, 49ers.
Talked about it just a couple plays ago, Ronnie. Michael Crabtree's ability with those long arms to extend, and then he's got 10-inch hands. He's got long fingers and strong hands, and when you're throwing to a guy like that, it gives you a lot of comfort in knowing that you can throw it up high and away from the defender, and he will go get it for you.
A pickup of 14. I don't know if you saw Adam Snyder, the right guard for the 49ers, look back at Smith and then tap the center. It's their way of getting around the noise here in the stadium. Smith, play action, complete again. That's Vernon Davis, and Davis with a big gain as they cross Eagle territory, a pickup of 26 yards. Joe Staley checks back in on that play, and it's money for the 49er offense. They'll spread it out. Gore alone in the backfield. The give to Gore. Gore fighting on the right side for a few. Mike Patterson is there. Time winding down here in the first quarter. The 49ers in the red zone, a pickup of 2 on the play. This is an area of the field and an area of the game where they struggled last week against Cincinnati. Second down and 8. Smith hit as he throws. Intended for Ginn Jr., but the pressure was there. Cullen Jenkins was in Smith's face. And that will be the end of the first quarter. The Eagles using their weapons, getting on the board thanks to some action by Vic. With a quick 7-zip lead. We'll be back to start the second quarter right after this. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, we start the second quarter here in Philadelphia. 49ers looking at a 3rd and 8. Smith in trouble, sack. Jason Babin coming from the outside. And that'll bring on the field goal unit for the 49ers. And Jim Babin, a guy that's got that speed. They like to line him up wide. But that time able to get to the quarterback.
He is a pure pass rusher. That's what he was brought here to do, is rush the passer. And once again, you see the inability of the San Francisco 49ers offense to protect the quarterback and get the ball downfield. And they're going to struggle offensively unless they can start to find a way to do those things better.
Akers, he's missed from 44 yards. This is 37. It's up, it's clean, no flags. And so the 49ers, unlike their first drive of the game, they get down the field and come away with something. 3 points, 4-point game.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. By the Chevy Silverado HD, Motor Trend's 2011 Truck of the Year. And by Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness.
9 plays, 57 yards. This time, the former Eagle, David Akers, is good from 37 yards out. We've got a 4-point game. Dion Lewis is back deep for the Eagles. This one will come out. Lewis at the goal line. Avoids one, then gets hit hard at the 20-yard line. Bruce Miller along with Blake Costanzo. So the Eagles offense will set up at the 20-yard line. I think last series was the first series outside of the first game of the season that Eagle fans have seen the real Mike Vick work.
Yeah, their offense looked in sync that last series. Now it's important they have another series to back it up.
Play action. He's looking deep again. Lets it fly. He's got one. That's D-Jack. And Jackson down to the 49ers 35-yard line. 45 yards on the pass play. Mediu Williams finally rounds him up.
Couple things here, Ronnie, is the protection up front. They do an excellent job with both backs and the defensive line of protection. And then Paris Harrison goes inside, which gives Mike time to step up in the pocket. And then in talking to Vic Fangio, the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator, he said that speed of the receivers crossing the field gives people real problems, and that was a great example of it there.
Vic out of the pocket. He'll take this one. And he'll move the chains again. So Vic, taking matters into his own hands, no pun intended, will move the chains, move the ball as they near the red zone.
That's the Michael Vick that I used to coach right there. The guy that once he saw outside contain breakdown and nobody there to his left side that took off and run, he presents huge problems when he's outside the pocket, because if he's behind the line of scrimmage and remains a passer, you've got to stay back. And if you stay back, he runs it.
3 pass attempts in a row. Across his body late, they say never do that, intended for Macklin, but the coverage is good. Out to Los Angeles for an update.
Well, Des Bryant's been banged up, didn't practice much this week, but it hasn't mattered so far. This is second touchdown reception from Tony Romo, and the Cowboys have the lead over the Lions, 14-0 in the second. Ron and Jim.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Cowboys sporting a 2-1 record, tied with the Redskins and the Giants here in the NFC East. 2nd and 10.
Double solid.
McCoy inside the 15-yard line, tackled by Goldson, a pickup of 7. Andy Reid bristled a little bit in the meeting room the other day when I asked him about the runs and the carries and the yardage that McCoy had.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure he appreciates the fact that they're running the football, but Andy wants balance. I think to Andy, balance means I throw more than I pass, whether it's a screen or a check down. He likes the ball in the air, and he doesn't want to put too much of a burden on LeSean McCoy. He's not the biggest running back in the league.
McCoy along with Brown in the backfield. Pressure, quick throw, and that's what pressure will do to you. Navarro Bowman came from the linebacker spot.
Well, Navarro Bowman here blitzing right up the middle, right through the guard tackle gap, and nobody steps up to block him. If it wasn't Mike Vick, this would be a sack, but he's able to get rid of the ball so quickly. And that's what you need to do to Mike. You got to get pressure in his face right now, and then when you do, you've got to have edges put up so that he can't scramble outside.
This is the rookie Alex Henry, one of the two Henrys, a kicker on the team, and he puts it through 32 yards. The drive stalls, but the Eagles come away for points. So check it on his hand. We'll be back. On that third down throw, Michael Vick got his hand grazed there as he let go of the ball right here.
You watch out here, and Alex Smith just gets enough of Mike's, really the middle two fingers. Justin Smith does, and it looks like maybe hyperextended him a little bit. And they were attending to him on the sidelines, and now he's throwing the ball a little bit.
Concussion, nearly broken hand, and we're not even midway through the season for Vick. Ken Jr., he dances and goes down at about the 13-yard line. Akeem Jordan, their most experienced linebacker, hustling down for the tackle.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet Volt. It's more car than electric.
So a look at Michael Vick. Got his left hand hit there, his throwing hand. Seems to be okay, but we'll keep him closely monitored. Kyle Williams checks in along with Justin Peele for the 49ers. And that's Williams. Williams for a few on the quick throw. And there's a look at Eagles defensive coordinator. You almost have to take a breath when you say that because you're so used to calling him the offensive line coach. Castillo, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, first year as defensive coordinator. He's been under fire a little bit here in Philly. The defense hasn't played as well as people think they should have. And a lot of people question the move from the start. But they won't question that. That's a great play by a guy who's inserted freshly into the lineup. That's Brian Roll subbing for another rookie, Casey Matthews. Roll, the 6th-round pick, coming in making some nice plays out of Ohio State.
You talk about Juan Castillo and the transition from offensive line coach to defensive coordinator. And it is a transition, but this guy's a really good football coach.
Yep.
When you're an offensive line coach, you're most concerned with protecting your quarterback and running the football. When you're a defensive coordinator, you're most concerned with attacking the quarterback and stopping the run. So in those respects, the transition has not been difficult.
3rd and 6, bobbled snap. Quick throw, backside, incomplete, intended for Davis. But a great job there by another high-priced free agent brought in, Nnamdi Asomugha. Babin on the pressure.
Babin on the pressure is a common theme here. But they run a little stunt, and Babin comes back inside, and he makes Alex Smith move off his spot. He has to backpedal and try to throw the football. Going back to Juan Castillo for a second here, the biggest transition that he has to make is calling defenses. And the only way that you get comfortable calling defenses is repetition. Here he's in his 4th game, and I think that he's starting to feel more comfortable making those decisions every 30 seconds.
And I guess this is the future of punting to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, don't punt it to him.
And if you're a punter, you hate that because it's killing your average. 33 yards for Lee, 10-3, Eagles. A quick look at the quarterback comparison today. Alex Smith, Michael Vick. That double setup in the backfield for protection. We've seen that a couple times today. Another deep one. Got a step. Jackson. Nope, check that. That's Macklin. He had a step, but it's a little long. Well, this November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight. As the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez in a must-see live event you can only catch right here on Fox. Dos Santos, Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, live Saturday, November 12th, right here on Fox. So a miss on the bomb to Macklin. Will reset it 2nd and 10. Pressure inside the A-gaps. And McCoy goes backward. maybe he fell forward for one. Patrick Willis is there first.
Let's go back to the play before the run. The deep ball to Macklin. And remember, Macklin is coming off of a little bit of a hamstring tweak, but he still gets behind Shante Spencer, and Mike just puts it out a little bit too much. Now, that might be a function of Mike throwing a little bit too far, but it also might be a function of Macklin not being at quite 100% there. One thing that we know for sure after watching practice on Friday is they're going to continue to take their shots down the field deep.
Oh, where you go? Where you going?
He was limited last week, bothered by a hamstring. Third and 9, movement and flags.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
That's Jason Peters. So that'll push it back 3rd and 14, 9:30 and counting
Double solid.
here in the first half.
What? Solid right here.
Vick with a clear lane, takes it outside, gets the first and then some as he pushes into the 30-yard line. 24 yards on the scramble. And that right there for Vick has always been the X factor.
Here's the problem when you rush Mike Vick with 3, and you're going to see 3 rushers here for the San Francisco 49ers, is there's too many lanes for him to escape through. And there you saw it. The ends get up the field, the nose gets washed to the right, and Mike takes off through the defense's left for a first down.
3 rushes, 46 yards already for Vick. Play action, middle of the field. Harbor inside the 5. Tackled by Goldson. A pickup of 27 and another Eagle first.
What a really nice touch throw, Ronnie, by Michael Vick there. He took a little bit off of this ball. He put it right over the top of the linebacker's hands into his tight end, Harbor's hands. And, you know, that is another sign of the development of Mike. You know, he used to just really sling it in there hard every throw. We've seen him throw some balls down the field, but now he knows how to take a little bit off his throw as well.
The throwback, looking for Selleck, and that's a long throwback.
I don't know that there's many quarterbacks in the league that can throw
pull
the
that
ball
one
away
off.
when they're outside the numbers to the left and throw it almost into the tunnel over to the right.
Quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators will tell you time and time again, just ask Brett Favre, don't throw late and don't throw across the field like that. But guess when you're feeling good, you're feeling good. 2nd and goal.
Come.
The quick inside handoff to McCoy. Nope, he's down at the inch line. The crowd, of course, signaling touchdown. They'll mark it at the inch line.
They have Ronnie Brown and McCoy in there together. They fake a little quick toss to Brown on the edge, try to suck the outside linebackers, and then they give it to McCoy up inside.
Number 79. Number 79 is eligible.
Third and goal. Extra offensive lineman in. And Brown gets stopped. Ball is loose. It's a fumble. And the 49ers say they've got it. And it is 49er ball. A huge miscue on the goal line.
Wow, this takes them back to last week when they had 4 shots on the 1-yard line against the Giants and couldn't get it in.
Navarro Bowman, excuse me.
No, and here the problem again. Giving it to Ronnie Brown up inside and just gets stuffed.
And Paris Harrelson coming.
Paris Harrelson comes through.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
Oh, he throws the ball. Now, you know,
what is he doing?
I guess he's attempting to throw the ball.
I have never seen a player do that before. I don't understand what he was thinking, especially a veteran player like Brown. You protect the ball at all costs down in the pit when you're in scoring position. Now, maybe they will call that his forward progress was stopped, but regardless of what the call is, that is just not something that you do.
And we're going to go out to Los Angeles again for this one. Mike, we always give you the fun ones. The play there, now, is that an illegal forward pass attempt by Ronnie Brown?
Well, you know, first of all, they didn't rule forward progress, so you cannot actually review that aspect. That's not reviewable. So this is going to become whether it was forward or backwards, and where was it? If it's backward pass, then certainly the recovery is legal. If it's forward, it's incomplete if it was from behind the line. If it's from beyond the line, then it's going to be an illegal forward pass. So I don't think he was beyond the line, and I think here at the release, I think this is a backward pass. So if you look at this one, I think this stays as a San Francisco recovery. I don't think I've ever seen one happen like this, but
I know I have.
It was amazing.
Mike. I know I have.
I know
never
you never coached. I know you never coached anything like that.
I'm pretty sure
about that.
I'm pretty sure that's not in the Eagles playbook. Hey, let's hand it off to Brown up the middle, and if you get stopped, hey, just go ahead and try to throw it. I don't think Andy ever put that one in.
I got to believe the officials looked at that too and said, "What the heck was that?"
That'll go on the training reel next week.
Well, for Mike,
that will be.
For Mike and for you, Jimmy, is that his attempt? Maybe to thwart losing yardage on the play. Maybe throw it away, an incomplete pass, but it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Ruling on the field stands. Philadelphia will be charged with a timeout. It is San Francisco's ball, 1st and 10.
And Mike Pereira, you're right on. They go with the call. It's San Francisco's ball. In essence, a fumble is what we have there, recovered by the 49ers. Mike Pereira, thank you very much. We'll come your way again for another crazy call.
We've been out to Mike a lot
Number
today already.
And number 90.
Thank goodness he's there, because some of these rules are crazy.
So it does give you deja vu if you're an Eagles fan. Last week against the Giants, 4 shots down by the goal line, couldn't get in. This time the fumble at the goal line, and still a relatively tight game. Inside handoff. That's Hunter. Hunter grinding through for about 4.
I like the call, and I like the way that Kendall Hunter hit it up in there. That was power football. That is what the San Francisco 49ers want to be. They want to be a team that runs the ball convincingly between the tackles with power. We know that Frank Gore can do it, but when you can have a second guy like Kendall Hunter that can give you that, boy, that makes you feel good as a coach.
Second and 6 throw. Smith. Smith intended for Vernon Davis. And that ball a little low and outside. Sounds like baseball. Bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I'm not sure that wasn't a throwaway. There was really nowhere to throw the football. That was a well-covered play. And Alex threw it really the only place that was safe to throw it, and that was low and away. It's hard for me to fault Alex Smith for that throw right there.
Incomplete, intended for Hunter, and he probably would have fallen forward for 1st down yardage, but he can't hold on, and the 49ers will have to punt. An interesting matchup I noticed down there. Asamoah on Vernon Davis.
Yeah, you know, that's a good matchup because Asamoah can handle him. He's got some length. But here you see just they crush the pocket. You see Trent Kroll just kind of crushing the pocket. Typically, these guys like the speed rush off the edge, but that time they took the tackles and they just walked him back into Alex's lap, and he had to throw off his back foot, and he didn't have very much accuracy on the ball.
Second straight 3 and out for the 49ers. This time, Lee says, Jackson, go ahead, take your shot. This could be dangerous. Look at this, a little razzle-dazzle, the flip. That's the Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and it goes nowhere. In fact, it goes backward. Well, tomorrow night, it's the new season of House. It begins with television's most brilliant doctor in lockdown for his biggest mistake. But will hard time turn House around? Don't miss an unforgettable season premiere event. House tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
You'll be there. That's your show, isn't it? You can't wait.
Guy's crazy. He wouldn't have
He wouldn't have tried
okayed
to
that
reverse.
one. Yeah. 59-yard punt, minus 4 yards on the return. First and 10, Vick. Vick, first down, loses the ball. I think he's already down.
Take a look at Michael Vick today, Ron, and he's been pretty good throwing the football, but he's been spectacular when he pulls it down and runs. He's got now 4 carries for 57 yards. When you get this guy, and you give this guy the opportunity to beat you either way, then he will beat you either way. He'll beat you with his legs, he'll beat you with his arm. And you find yourself as a defensive coordinator saying, okay, what do I do now? How do I stop this guy?
Let's go here. Here.
I don't know that the 49ers have the answer to that. They bring pressure. Rodgers, and Rodgers forces the errant throw. He had Avant in the area.
When you look at Mike's passing numbers, they aren't spectacular. 9 of 16, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But when you look at his rush yards, that's where he's done a lot of damage on it. And when you're attempting to throw the ball down the field as much as they are today, you can see there's a real effort to try to push the ball deep. And sometimes your accuracy, your percentage of completion numbers are going to go down a little bit because those are not high percentage throws.
But he hasn't taken too many hits.
He hasn't.
Keeping him clean, I think, has been the key. Macklin showing the ball, now loses it. I think they're going to blow it dead.
Boy, I don't know. This
Macklin was sporting the ball there before he even got across the first down marker. Justin Smith comes up with it, but
well, we've seen now 3 of the last 5 plays where the ball has been on the ground. Now, whether it's after the play or the Ronnie Brown play, ball security needs to be at a premium for the Philadelphia Eagles because this is a defense that takes the football away. They've got 8 takeaways, and if you show them the ball enough, like they're doing right now, Philadelphia offensively, they're going to pay for it. You've got to secure the ball.
quick throw intended from McCoy, and he can't hold on. Ricky Jean-Francois looked to get a hand on that one. So 7-point game. The 49ers holding on. But the Eagles probably feel they should have at least one more score on that.
What do you got, Larry, out there?
Fumbled down by the goal line, on the 1-inch line, as a matter of fact, by Ronnie Brown. Pressure outside, they bring the safety. Vick gets away. Gets out of bounds. Tackled late there, looked like, but they won't call Patrick Willis. They'll call it a pickup of 5.
How many times have you seen this with Mike Vick? You get a free shot on him, you're coming free, and you can't bring him down. You watch Carlos Rogers coming off the edge there.
Aldon Smith misses.
Yeah, Aldon Smith misses. He's just so athletic and he's so powerful through the legs. Now the crowd here wanted to call for a late hit on the sidelines, but that was a good no call by the officials.
3rd and 5, pressure. McDonald was right in his face, but Vick gets it away. Deshaun Jackson wide open. And Jackson taken down inside the 15. Another Eagles first down. A pickup of 29. An injured Eagle on the play.
What's amazing about Mike Vick in the pocket, and we all know this, we all seen it for years and years and years, but his ability to move his feet quickly and then get rid of the ball quickly. You just don't see people that can put those two aspects of their game together so succinctly. He's able to avoid the rush and get rid of the ball right now.
McCoy is the injured Eagle, and you see he tried to take on McDonald there. McCoy.
Well, if you're Mike Vick, you've got to go over to him and say, thanks, pal, because you took that 300-pounder, so I didn't have to. And you like to see that out of McCoy. You know, we know that he can run the football. But when he steps up and he delivers a block like that, then everybody in that offensive meeting room on Monday, when they're watching that film, says, man, nice job. That's how you earn the respect of your teammates.
So Ronnie Brown will step in for McCoy. Pressure again. He's wrapped up but throws it. I believe they're going to call in the grasp as a marker goes down. Aldon Smith wrapped him up.
Holding, number 68 offense. The penalty is declined. The quarterback was blown dead at the spot. It will be 2nd down.
That's Kyle Devan.
Right there. Just the hold and the pull down.
And that will go down officially as the first sack of the day for the 49ers as McCoy checks back in. Clean pocket and a completion. He threaded the needle on that one. That's Avant.
You know, last time they were down here, we saw him put the touch on the ball and get it over to the top of the linebacker. Here, as you said, Ronnie, he threads the needle. I mean, he zings that one. There's some velocity on that ball to get it in between the defenders there. He's something now.
Fine miss starting to come down here. 3rd and 9.
Out here. Hey.
Pass, pass, pass. Short throw. Nothing doing there for McCoy. Bowman is all over it. And that's the 2-minute warning. Eagles driving, 7-point game.
The 2-minute warning.
A look at Colin Kaepernick. He came in for one play that was blown dead and a timeout called.
And you look at the Eagles have moved the ball well. They've got almost 270 yards of total offense. They haven't been able to pay it off in the red zone, and here they're having to settle for a field goal attempt again. And part of that is because of the San Francisco red zone defense, which coming into the day was tied for 1st in the league in red zone efficiency with regards to touchdowns.
Henry, 32 yards out. And it's good. So no touchdown, but the Eagles add on points as we wind down the first half. Well, next week on Fox, it all starts with the Ford Fox pregame show. And then a slate of great games, the Seahawks, Giants, Eagles, and Bills. That'll be a great one. Saints, Panthers. Cardinals, Vikings, and the Bucks will take on the San Francisco 49ers in the late one.
There's a couple playmakers right there now. Great athletes, but go back to the San Francisco defense. They have given up some yards today. They have given up some plays to Mike Vick and McCoy and Jackson down the field, but they've done a nice job in the red zone, and they've only given up 13 points. And the objective of defense is to not give up points. You know, statistics can be manipulated any way you want them to. The bottom line on defense is let's not give up points, and they've done a good job in the red zone all day, and they've done a good job in the red zone today. Conversely, the Eagles have struggled in the red zone coming into this game, and again, they're struggling in the red zone, and that's what's keeping the 49ers in the game right now.
10 plays, 56 yards, and a field goal. That's Kendall Hunter, and Hunter keeps churning, pounds it up close to the 30-yard line. The Visa halftime report is coming your way. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights and action around the league. And the Lions, the hot Lions, clawing for perfection. It's almost hard to say that. But they have gotten off to a great start. The guys will tell you all about it in the Visa halftime report.
And with 1:46 and 2 timeouts left, the 49ers don't have to be in too much of a hurry here. Now they'll go into their, I'm sure, their 2-minute operation, but they can be a little bit more patient.
Pressure, fumble, picked up. Cullen Jenkins with the recovery. Babin came off the corner and knocked it out.
And watch Babin here, the left end, and just miscommunication.
Well, he lost it before Babin even got there.
He did, but what happened there, Ronnie, is nobody blocked Babin, and so one of two things have to happen. Either the back has to stand and block Babin, or Alex Smith has to get the ball out of his hands right now on a hot read. And look at Juan Castilla, how fired up is he?
13 years as the old line coach, he's starting to like the defensive side of things a little bit.
After plays like that, he does.
You better. Handoff, McCoy spins inside, picks up about 3. McDonald on the tackle.
You know, you go back to this play here, and we said Babin was turned free, and he drops the ball. It's misting, it's a little bit slippery, he needs to hold on to the ball, but I just question what they were trying to get done offensively there, because there was a mistake. He either needed to get rid of the ball to Gordon now, or Gordon needed to stand and block.
McCoy out in the flat, one-on-one situation, and a pretty decent job of the open field tackle, but a first down by McCoy.
Timeout, Philadelphia. This is your second. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout there by the Eagles. The Eagles' 5th trip in the red zone today, and we're not even into the second half. Ron Pitts, Jim Moore. We talked about Michael Vick having to get off to a fast start, and he's able to do that.
You know, he has. He struggled there the second series, but he started fast, and now he's come back, and he's using his legs. And I think the ability to use his legs has set up some things in the passing game, because the 49ers had to be a little bit more deliberate in how they rush him.
And we talk about the 49ers now. They have been in that slow, you don't want to call it ugly game, but last week against Cincinnati, a 13-8 game. First time in NFL history a game has ended like that. But they've got to come up with a stand here. Across his body, a good hit on the throw intended for Avant. But Goldson has a bullseye on his ribs.
You know, you talk about the 49ers offense, Ronnie, and their struggles is that, number one, they want to be able to run the football. They can't run the football, okay? They are not able to run the football right now. They would like to be able to throw the ball outside down the field. They can't do that because they can't protect, and then have receivers that get open down the field. We asked Jim Harbaugh yesterday about their struggles in offense, and quite frankly, he didn't have an answer, which was a little disconcerting if you're a 49er fan, that the head coach doesn't have an answer for your offensive struggles.
Second and goal. The quick one inside to Macklin. And a timeout called. And that's the final timeout for the Eagles.
We know what Harbaugh wants this team to be because he's a tough-minded guy. And if you look at his career, he's a guy that likes to run the football. But they're not having success running the football. And right now they don't have an answer, for at least an answer that they could tell us for why they're not running the football. They're not able to get the ball down the field to spread a defense out. So they've got some issues on offense. Fortunately, Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator, and these defensive players are doing a tremendous job of keeping them in football games until they can get that offense on track, which they will. They will. It's just a process.
No timeouts for the Eagles. Third and goal. The shovel. McCoy, touchdown.
Shovel pass, Ronnie, you mentioned, is a great red zone play because technically this is a pass. So if the ball's dropped, it's an incomplete pass, but it's structured like a run. And it's something that the Rams used to use a lot with Marshall Faulk. You're seeing here the Eagles using it with LaShawn McCoy. It's a really nice inside the 5-yard line play.
Extra point is cleaned by Henry. But I got to tell you, every time I see Michael Vick attempt to move out of the pocket, if I'm a 49er, I'm going to bite on that fake because he's been so good moving around in and out of the pocket today.
Well, I mean, he's just presents so many problems for you defensively. And, you know, we all want him to be a pocket passer because everyone says we can't be a pocket passer. But if I'm a defensive coordinator, which I was in this league, I want to see Mike Vick in the pocket because it's when he gets out of the pocket that he presents so many problems to us defensively because he becomes an either-or threat. We know that he can run the football. We know that he's got the ability to deliver the ball downfield. And the thing that he's improved on tremendously is his accuracy throwing the ball downfield, whether it's in the pocket or out of the pocket.
The Eagles have now scored on 4 of their last 5 possessions.
And remember, Ron, this is a very good San Francisco defense. They came into this game ranked very high. They've given up 292 yards in the first half, which is not like them. So the Eagles have got it going a little bit. The 49ers need to go in at halftime and regroup and get themselves back in this one.
49ers averaging giving up only 17 points a game. That was good enough for 4th in the NFL. And that average has already been clipped. Don't forget the halftime report, the Visa halftime report coming your way in about 38 seconds.
You know, I think it's interesting here. I'm interested to see how the 49ers handle these final 38 seconds. They've got 2 timeouts. They're down 17 points. Do you run it? Do you take a knee? Or do you say, you know what, we're early in our tenure here and we want to be an attacking team. Let's throw it down the field. I think this will tell us a little bit about Jim Harbaugh's mindset in terms of where his football team is right now.
Last series out, Smith lost the ball thanks to the pressure by Babbitt. Checks it down to Gore. Gore falls forward. Samuel is there.
Well, this makes no sense. If you're going to go hurry up and you've got 2 timeouts, use a timeout. If you're not trying to score, then run the football and get out of here.
One or the other.
It doesn't make any sense. You're just going to get a guy hurt.
Drop. Crabtree. And the weather has changed here now.
Yeah, well, the weather doesn't affect this decision. I don't understand what they're doing offensively here, and I'm sure that there's a method to their madness, but I can't tell you what it is because you don't see this much in the NFL. This might work in college, but not at this level.
last play here of the first half. They'll run it out to Gore, and that's how they'll go in. 1 second officially left on the clock. A timeout there by San Francisco.
Timeout.
Do you get
San
that
Francisco.
one? So they called a
This was the
timeout?
second. This will be a 30-second
Well,
timeout.
I am sure, knowing Jim is very, very smart. He's played in this league. He's coached for a long time. He knows his team. I'm sure that there's a reason behind this. I don't know what it is.
That would indeed be a very long field goal.
Well, I'm sure what they'll do is they'll probably go into their Hail Mary mode and throw
go
it down
into the
there.
Hail Mary, right?
And if they catch it for a touchdown, then I'm eating crow. But I'm not exactly sure what this strategy is. But like I said, I'm defer to Jim Harbaugh. He's the one on the sidelines coaching.
The Eagles with 292 total yards of offense in just one half of play. And most of it thanks to that man there, Michael Vick. Screen. And Gore takes a dive
That's just
in
another
front of the
opportunity.
first down marker.
That's just another opportunity to get your players hurt when you do that. Yep.
And that's how we'll go in. The Eagles jumping all over the 49ers thanks to a late turnover, 20-3. We'll be back right after this. Be sure and follow your favorite NFL team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora, all about Michael Vick in that first half. You look at the stats there, you're talking big numbers, 62 yards rushing on 5 carries.
Well, he's kind of got it going in all 3 phases right now, which means he's effective in the pocket. He's been effective out of the pocket throwing the ball. And then he's been effective as a runner. And it's really difficult when you're on defense to defend a guy like this, because if you rush 3, you give him rush lanes or escape lanes, he's out in his running, or he's got time to throw it down the field. If you pressure him in the way he's making guys miss today, and it's just it's a really tough proposition for Vic Fangio right now.
Henry gets us going. Ginn Jr. Ginn Jr. with a lane, busts out, and gets rounded up at about the 28-yard line. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie on the tackle. And a look at the first half stats.
Well, the Eagles are rolling up the yards, and until late in the half, they were struggling to score points because of the great red zone defense that the 49ers were playing. And then 49ers need to find a way to get this pass game going, because right now this is exactly how the Eagles want to play defense, with a lead.
Play action pass. First play of the second half for the 49ers, and it's completion. The first catch of the day. That's Joshua Morgan, 4-year man out of Virginia Tech, but a penalty flag in the backfield.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93 in the defense. The 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And Jason Babin says, what? A pickup of 26.
Here's Babin on the left side rushing. They're doubling him. Well, it's the finish. It's the follow-through that got him right there.
Up around the head.
Yeah, he had Alex Smith around the helmet. The ball was clearly out. He could.
So a big gain. Ball on the 33-yard line with the penalty of the Eagles. Kendall Hunter. Hunter has gotten a lot of run here today with the injury there to Frank Gore. He'll pick up 3. Gore has been in the game. In fact, had a nice run early in the game, but he is not healthy enough to start. Moses Foku in on the tackle. There's a look at Gore. Gore bothered by a bad ankle the last couple of weeks. And a look on the other side at Vick.
This is the kind of drive that the 49ers need to start this second half, get themselves back in the right frame of mind and back in the game.
Quick throw on 2nd and 7. That's Walker. Walker doesn't go down. Still doesn't go down. They blow the play dead, but the flag is down at the 35. Tripping going against San Francisco. Harbaugh not happy with the call.
Number 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's Anthony Davis.
When you've got a speed rusher like Babin who comes off the edge so ferociously, sometimes you do anything you can to try to stop him, but that's just a clear leg whip.
That's the old leg whip.
Yeah, and this has been something that has plagued the 49er offense all year, is penalties, both pre-snap and post-snap. They are the most penalized offense in the National Football League. And when you're a younger team, when you're trying to install a new system, when you're trying to get some belief in what you're doing, and you have this undisciplined style of play, then you've got problems.
2nd and 17 throw, waiting for a deep comeback, and there it is. That's Walker. So they get the penalty on the other play to Walker. They go to the other side and get Walker on a comeback. A pickup of 11. Not often will you see teams take their tight end, backup tight end, and run deep comeback with him.
No, but
Babin.
Delaney Walker is special. Look at Babin. I love the sprinter stance that he's in. And he does a nice job here with the spin move, although on this play, it's pretty well blocked up by Davis. You know, when you get a guy that's a little bit light in the tail at 258 pounds, if he tries to bull rush you near offensive tackle, you like that.
They're trying to call timeout. The Eagles are, and Asante Samuel just about hit a 40-inch vertical, screaming at the officials to stop the play. 49ers opening up the second half with a decent drive. We'll be back.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Ron Pitts, Jim Moore. 12:36 here in the third quarter. Big third down for the 49ers. Crabtree on the Q in, Q out route, and it's well covered. Rogers Cromartie is there, and it's well shy of the first down. 49ers will bring on their field goal unit.
I'm okay with that play. You know, a lot of people say, well, he's not throwing it down the field, not trying to get the first down, but there wasn't anything down the field. He took the safe throw. He kept him in field goal range. If they put this through, it makes it a 2-touchdown game, so that's probably a good decision by Alex Smith.
45 yards out for Akers. It's blocked. Picked up by Colt Anderson. Looked like King Dunlap got in there and got a hand on it.
You watch Dunlap there just come between the center and the guard and elevate and get up and block it. That ball came out a little bit low, Ron.
Akers up with a 44-yard miss already today. And as you say, the trajectory on that one came out a little low, and it's going the other way, courtesy of Dunlap. Sudden change situation, you come out throwing, And that's Jackson. Jackson down to the 49er 21-yard line, covered by Terrell Brown, a pickup of 19 yards.
Well, King Dunlap is 6'9", but look at the athleticism jumping through the hole. And then when you're 6'9", you don't necessarily have to jump. You just get those long arms and big hands up and you knock it down.
We saw him at practice the other day. There's no mistaking that is King Dunlap, appropriately named, four-year man out of Auburn. He changed his field position for the Eagle. Vick pulls it back, gets away, and then throws it away. Aldon Smith with another nice pressure. Almost had the sack.
You know, Mike poses a problem for officials because you see him escape so many times. They would like to protect the quarterback by blowing the whistle, but he's shown the ability to get out of situations so often that sometimes the officials back, he said, I don't know if I should call this play dead because I don't know if it is dead with this guy.
There's a good example right there as they hand off to McCoy inside.
You know, so Mike made those comments about, you know, the officials aren't protecting me, which he retracted. But I think there's something to the fact that maybe the officials don't know how to protect him because of the unusual abilities that he possesses offensively to get himself out of trouble.
So in other words, you have to protect Michael Vick slightly different than you might go about protecting another quarterback. I mean, not on paper, but when you're in the game trying to call the game, maybe that's the case.
I think it puts a real burden on the officials.
3rd and 6, pressure outside with the corner blitz. They throw backside to Selleck. Selleck falls down, doesn't get much. Willis is there along with Culliver.
Once again, Ron, the 49er defense doing a nice job, first of all, in sudden change after the blocked kick and then in the red zone. And the 49ers have kept them in games all year, and they're keeping them in this one.
Vick with the visor off. We mentioned the weather had turned a little bit here in Philadelphia. Relatively clear at kickoff, a little hazy, but then it started to mist, and the temperature has dropped. This will be Alex Henry. Henry, as we've mentioned before, one of 2 rookie kickers brought in for the Eagles this year. Henry essentially replaces the guy on the other side of the ball today, the former Eagle, David Akers. He hit from 55 in pregame warm-up. This will be much shorter. Call it 33. The 4th round pick out of Nebraska. They set it up. It's up, it's through. And the Eagles, thanks to the King, King Dunlap, all 6'9" of them, helps add points.
For Andy Reid, this is rather animated. It looks like he's giving his quarterback a little bit of tough love right there. You don't see that often out of Andy. I love his passion. And then you see Mike Vick in the first half here with the screen. In the second half, they had to take that thing off because of the weather. Mike likes to have that screen. It shields his eyes. The linebackers can't get a look at where he's seeing. Exactly.
This ball almost out of the end zone. 23-3, the Eagles trying to get healthy. So far, so good on their part.
Is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
Four unanswered scores for the Eagles now. The last time the 49ers put points on the board, second quarter, 37-yard field goal by Akers. It was a 7-3 game then. A throw and a completion. That's Walker. Don't forget to get your coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Pick up the phone, call Star NFL to get NFL action right there on your cell phone. NFL Mobile has it all for you. Jimmy, put your phone down. That's not for you. You got to do the game. And the 49ers got to get it going here. 2nd down and 6. 4 yards on the completion to Walker. Full zone coverage by the Eagles. Smith somewhere to go late. And this is Kendall Hunter. Hunter, one man to beat. And he goes down at the 32-yard line. Hunter almost broke that. 45 yards on the pass play.
Well, we've given Mike Vick a lot of credit today for working outside of the pocket and creating on his feet. But how about Alex Smith here, opening things up, feeling the pressure, sliding out of the pocket, buying some time, on the move, throwing back across his body. Nice throw. And hey, whatever it takes to get a big play, right now the 49ers will take it.
Under the 4th round pick out of Oklahoma State. Coming up with a nice play. He'll get the carry there. Not much. Call it 2. Philip Hunt is there for the tackle. Jimmy, it feels like big plays in chunks, something that Andy Reid has talked about getting for his offense. Well, that seems to be the prescription for San Francisco to get back in this thing.
Well, yeah, they need some big plays quick, and they need some big scoring plays quick. It's going to be hard for them to stay in this game if they can't get something on the board now.
Safety blitz, they throw right into the hole. Morgan looking for the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
Well, they got something on the board now.
Sure do. 30 yards. They brought the safety blitz. And Smith, you talked about his collectiveness early in the game. He finds the open window and puts it there.
Yeah, it's 2 really good plays by Alex Smith. First, the scramble, buying some time and creating a big play down the field. And then really just a quick slant off a blitz, but having the presence to stand in there firm and know where he's going to go with the football and delivering an accurate throw that we can take into the end zone for a touchdown. So big plays don't always have to be big passes down the field with a lot of air under them. Sometimes you just get it to your playmakers and let them run.
So after 4 unanswered scores, the 49ers finally put points on the board at the 7-minute mark. 4 plays, 80 yards. Started off with Hunter in the big play, and Morgan finishes it off. 23-10 Eagles.
Well, the ball's in here, as we know, and this is a blitz. And on a blitz, when there's no safety in the middle, the corner's got to play inside leverage. Asante Samuel laying way outside, not reacting to the inside at all. Either he was just flat out guessing, or he was expecting safety help in the middle that wasn't there.
Akers to Lewis. Lewis slowing down, downshifting, and we'll call it quits at the 20. Join the NFL's Crucial Catch campaign in the fight against breast cancer. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic game-worn NFL Pink products. All proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. And if you look down on the field, you've seen for almost 2 quarters and a half, plenty of pink. The players are wearing the pink shoes, gloves, wristbands, chin straps, anything they can to help bring awareness to this worthy cause. 1st and 10, ball at the 21, play action. Pressure, Vick with a move, and then gets crunched. About 3 yards shy of the first. Those are the disadvantages of running the ball. He'll pick up 7.
Yeah, he'll pick up 7, but he takes a little shot here, and that's not what you want to see when you're Andy Reid. You know, when you're coaching a guy like Mike Vick, sometimes you've got to take some of those plays with the good plays that he makes down the field, because that's just who he is. And if you ask him not to be that guy, then you're not going to get the great plays that he makes.
Ahmad Brooks applying the wax. That one a little high for Selleck. You know, Michael was almost mad the other day in the meeting room. He made the comments in the paper this past week that I don't care about my concussion, my arm, my hand, is that I will finish this game and I will win this game. They'll have to cart me off this field on Sunday. That's how desperate the Eagles are to get a victory.
And he actually said those words, they'll have to cart me off the field. And he means it. He's an excellent competitor, like all these guys on the field. I mean, they're all excellent competitors. They wouldn't be playing at this level if they weren't.
That's a good point. 3rd down and 3. You know where this is going. But he doesn't get out. Great job by Navarro Bowman. And Bowman, along with Ahmad Brooks, 2 linebackers, quietly doing a heck of a job for these 49ers. And that'll be a 4th down and time to punt for the Eagles.
Ronnie, you said it. Just a tremendous tackle by Bowman. And leaves his feet to make it, but what he did a nice job is he stayed inside out on Mike, and he gave him only one way to go, and that was outside. Then he trusted his ability to get out there and make the tackle. You've seen the San Francisco defense step up time and time again, and right there is another example of it. This group has kept them in games all year, all this short year, 3 games, but they're doing a nice job again today.
Henry, the rookie free agent out of Florida, will punt it away. Ginn Jr. at the 30 going backwards. He loses. Ball is loose. And a great play by Keenan Clayton. And when you can do that to Ted Ginn Jr., you've done something. A 42-yard punt, a loss of 6 on the great special teams tackle.
Well, what the 49ers need to do is find a way to move the ball down the field quickly like they did that previous drive. And whatever that takes, whether that means buying time in the pocket and finding Kendall Hunter so he can work it down the middle or getting a quick slant out there to Morgan. They got to find a way to get some big plays.
He's got one down the sideline. Crabtree still on his feet. Still going. Crabtree inside the Eagles' 40-yard line, and the Boo Birds come out here in Philadelphia. Working on Asamoah and Page. 32 big ones.
Well, we talked about getting big plays, and what you'll see here is a double move on Nnamdi. So Crabtree comes down, he stutters his feet, and then he takes off. And talking to Alex Smith, they felt that Nnamdi Asamoah looked into the backfield, and they felt like they could take advantage of that by running some of those stutter go routes, and they got him there.
Kendall Hunter has been hot. He did the same thing last week against Cincinnati. He pounds through for about 12 in first down yardage. Well, baseball's regular season ended with an unbelievable night of drama. Now the American League's 4 remaining teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will lead them to the ALCS and one step closer to the World Series. Fox's coverage of baseball's postseason begins Saturday with Game 1 of the ALCS at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. And Dixon is the injured Eagle. And I talked about the Boo Birds. You know, a lot of criticism now at the play in the secondary from the Eagles. All these high-priced free agents come in here. Asamoah comes in. You've got Asante Samuel. You bring in Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie in a trade, the Kevin Cobb trade, but you're not seeing the performance and the production on the back end. Right now for a game break, Detroit and Dallas. Let's go out to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Once down 27-3, the Lions have gotten back-to-back interceptions returned for touchdowns against Tony Romo. The first by Bobby Carpenter. This one 56 yards by Chris Houston. And just like that, the Lions are back in the ball game, 27-17 in the third quarter. Ron and Jim.
Ronnie, you make a couple excellent points there with the Boo Birds and the secondary. This is a high-priced, high-profile secondary, and we've seen here recently, we've seen Nnamdi Asamoah beat on a stutter go, a double move for a big play. We've seen Asante Samuels beat on a slant for a touchdown, and then we see them break out on a run. And so the problems that the Eagles defense has had early in this season, their first 3 games, has been, number 1, stopping the run. They have not been able to stop the run consistently, and number 2, problems in the secondary, and that is why these last 2 drives have been successful so far for San Francisco.
And they need to find a way to stop Kendall Hunter, because for the second week in a row now, he is making plays. First and 10 throw. That's outside for the fullback, Bruce Miller, and Miller with a nice pickup. Miller subbing for the injured Moran Norris. Played defensive lineman and linebacker in college. 7th round pick out of Central Florida. Coming up with a nice play.
And Ronnie, last week the Eagles defense had problems with missed tackles, and here it is again, a missed tackle. You can't push big men out of bounds at this league. You've got to go down and you've got to hit him. And if you're a linebacker like Roll, you've got to put your pads on that guy and you've got to knock him out of bounds. That 2-hand touch stuff, that doesn't work with the big boys here.
Isaac Sapuaga. He's not sure to go in motion yet. There he is. Straight lead play, Frank Gore, for about 3. Jamar Chaney on the tackle, a pickup of 2.
Interesting you'd be mentioning for the second time Isaac Sapuaga when we're on offense, but they're trying to do some things with their power football game. So they're getting a bigger man in there. The first time they ran a little wham block, which is a block on the defensive tackle from inside out. And that was just a little power play to the outside. They're trying to get some beef moving downhill.
Quick throw, walk. Vernon Davis in for the touchdown. So Alex Smith with the quick throw, the quick decision. And he's getting Davis.
You just call this a stick route. It's just run up 5 or 6 yards and stick it out. You hope the inside linebacker's playing inside leverage on you. You throw it to his outside shoulder, and then Vernon does the rest, just turns it up and powers into the end zone. He's been rather silent since that 26-yard catch earlier in the game. But this is the guy that is so difficult to cover. He presents so many problems for the defense, and you saw it right there. Just too quick for the inside linebacker.
Set up by some nice running after the catch by Kendall Hunter. 5 plays, 77 yards. And the 49ers chip away at the deficit. Now 23-17. Vernon Davis talked about being more involved in the offense. He went into Coach Harbaugh's office a couple weeks ago and very politely and used the words team. I know as a former coach you probably like that. Hey, how can I get more involved in the offense? And as you see, it's paying dividends.
Well, he talked to us yesterday about, he says, I really don't like to block. As a matter of fact, I hate to block, but he said, but I'm going to do whatever it takes for this team to have success offensively. And he kind of disappeared for a while in this game, but now he comes back and he makes a really good play. And I think that's kind of the culture that Jim Harbaugh here is cultivating, and that's, the team comes first. I'm willing to sacrifice personal glory for the glory of the team, and it's working for them. They've climbed themselves back into this football game when it was looking bleak for them. They've done it with some big plays. They've done it with some good defense. They've done it with team football, and I think that's a credit to the head coach.
So 2:58 here in the third. What looked like a game that was nearing blowout proportions, 20-3 at half. All of a sudden, the 49ers come screaming back, and they're right back in this thing. That ball out of the end zone for a touchback. Well, next weekend on FX Saturday College Football, it's the game of the week. Charles Davis and Gus Johnson will be in Lubbock, Texas for the final Big 12 meeting between 2 historic rivals. Undefeated Texas Tech takes on the 25th ranked Texas A&M Aggies, looking for their 3rd straight win over the Red Raiders. The FX Saturday College Football game of the week is next weekend in high definition only on FX. Check local listings for the start time in your area.
And look at the numbers in the second half there, Ron. 199 yards to 33 in favor of San Francisco.
Vick in trouble. Vick goes down. Sack. McDonald is there, along with Aldon Smith. Second sack of the day for the 49ers.
You look at the 49ers up front here, and they're bringing pressure, and they're trying to fill up gaps on Mike Vick, and they're squeezing the pocket. You saw a very level rush there. You didn't see a lot of guys up the field at different levels where he gets those escape lanes, and that's really the key. Wow.
Great play. Ball is handed off. McCoy somehow ended up with it, but the result is all negative. Ahmad Brooks with the tackle. You saw McDonald shooting right through that gap. And that's Jim Tomsula, the defensive line coach. Can you tell he's a D-line coach, and can you tell he's fired up?
And that's why the guys love him, because he's pure energy and pure passion. He's got a big wad of something in his cheek there. He's a ball coach, man.
Third and long. Going deep. He's got Jackson. Jackson's got it. What a play. "61 yards, he beat Terrell Brown.
Well, Ron, a couple of issues there. First of all, the protection was great. They got no pressure, and then it's just speed, speed, speed. And you see Reggie Williams, he takes a bad angle. Mike lays it right out there, and Carlos Rogers just can't quite stay with this guy, Deshaun Jackson. He can fly.
And if you're a 49er fan, don't blame Terrell Brown too much. Jackson has got a different kind of speed. Nice move in the hole. Decent gain on first down. Willis with the tackle on McCoy. A pickup of 3. Deshaun Jackson, 4 catches, 154 yards. You brought this point up in practice when we were watching them run those deep crossing routes. And we saw a play on film where he tried to get outside and got caught, but you said he's got different speed than everyone else does.
He's got different speed. It's almost like when you watch the tape, it's like somebody took a couple frames out. You know, because one minute he's here and then boom, he's at the next spot and you just don't know how he got there.
Nice avoid. A flag goes down as Vick takes it inside. Will be about 4 yards shy of the first. Could get a hold on Devan.
Holding number 68. Offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Bring it back. Second and 17, the mist starting to pick up again. Time winding down, and they will not get another play off. They'll choose not to get another play off here in the third quarter. So the 49ers don't just concede at 20-3. They come out swinging here in the second half. But the Eagles answer back. There's no substitute for speed. Fourth quarter from Philadelphia coming up next. Ron Pitts, Jim Mora. We start the fourth quarter here in Philadelphia. The 49ers working on 2 unanswered scores, and the Eagles trying to erase that. They went in 20-3 at the half. 49ers came out, put up 2 quick ones. We got a 6-point game.
You got it. Yeah, Ben.
Blitz off the corner. Here's a hit. And a good one. Reggie Smith on Jeremy Maclin. And Jimmy, you could see that. They're spread out in that cover too. An underneath route crosser. There's going to be a safety or corner coming up soon from that flat area.
That was a good break by Reggie Smith. He was nice and patient. He's got some making up to do because he was responsible as much as Terrell Brown was for that deep ball, and he makes a nice play right there. It's important now that they don't give him any yards here on 3rd and long and keep them out of field goal range, or at least on the cusp of field goal range.
Quick throw outside, Jackson. And Jackson well short of the first down. It almost looked like they said, you know, we'll just be safe and at least take our points.
Yeah, and I just don't know if I like that, given the fact, yeah, sure, you've had a good third quarter scoring points, but if this field goal goes through, then you're down 9. And I'm not sure that this San Francisco offense is capable of scoring twice in the 4th quarter. Now, given what they did in the 3rd quarter, they are. But given their history over the last 3.5 games, they're not. We'll find out.
This is Henry. He's good from 3 times out, 32, 32, and 33. This is 39. He won't be good from there.
Doesn't matter.
And there you go, Jimmy, just what you were talking about. Got down there, got a little conservative, and your rookie kicker pushes it to the right. It's still a 6-point game here in Philadelphia.
Today's game is sponsored by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. By Burger King, where you can enjoy the flavor of soft serve in several delicious combinations. And by Universal Pictures, The Thing, in theaters October 14th.
An injury update from the Eagles sideline. Defensive tackle Antonio Dixon, left triceps injury, will not return. Going deep, Smith. It's well covered and right through the hands of Crabtree. Nate Allen says, hey, where's my flag? But let's go back to that missed field goal and what will be a huge play in this game, most likely.
Well, it's a good snap and it's a good hold. The rookie kicking Henry just pushes it to the right. And, you know, Ryan, that would have given him a 9-point lead against an offense that struggled to score. So that is a big-time miss right there. And those need to be not automatic, but they need to be pretty darn close to automatic at this level.
Smith in trouble. Here comes a chaser on the backside, gets it loose. That's a catch, and let's see where they mark it. That's very close to the first down. They mark him just shy of the first down from that look. That's Joshua Morgan. And before that throw, that last incompletion on the deep one by Smith, that was his first incompletion of the second half. We talked about his growth, his confidence, his new look. I think his production numbers here are an example of that.
Absolutely. I mean, and you expected it at some point that it would really just catch for this guy, what they want him to be as a quarterback. His efficiency has been very good. His production hasn't been great, but that 3rd quarter, 9 for 9, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what they're looking for out of Alex Smith.
They'll stretch the chain. It'll still be about a yard shy of the first. You're going to go 3rd and about 1. So Jim Harbaugh looks at his board. Smith looks at his wristband. It's like they're studying for a final here. And Juan Castillo, he's got to decipher what they're doing and get the call on the field.
Well, you know, this is called 3rd and 1, but it's 3rd and about 6 inches. And believe it or not, to coaches, 6 inches and 1 yard is a completely different down. You're going to have a completely different thought process for if you want to get 6 inches or stop 6 inches as opposed to 1 yard. 3rd and 2 in the National Football League is not short yardage anymore. 3rd and 2 is a passing down.
That's a great point. Gore, if he got it on the second effort. Initially, he was stopped, but he came with the surge and went over. They'll call it 1st down, San Francisco. Just getting started here in the 4th quarter. Jimmy, we talked about the dynamics of play calling from the coaches on the sideline. Obviously, Harbaugh quite involved in the play calling there as a head coach. Here's another look at it.
Well, Harbaugh's got to like the surge up front. This is only a 1-yard gain, but it's dirty, hard-fought 1-yard gain. And he's trying to build an identity on this team, and that's a hard-nosed, physical, we can run it right at your team. And so he'll take that 1 yard, and he'll build on that with his team. You say, we can get the nasty yards.
He's in communication with his offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. Pressure. Babin misses him, and it's out of bounds. Intended for Crabtree, and a look at the last 2 drives for the 49ers. Kendall Hunter got it going. Came up with some big yardage, got the ball in the middle of the field, then Morgan iced it up. The big pass play, we talked about the secondary getting picked on. That was Crabtree. Miller got involved, and now the touchdown to Vernon Davis. 2 unanswered scores by the 49ers. Last 2 possessions, you can see their yardage total. Fumbled snap by Smith. Somehow he got the ball back. And Babin is all over it.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback is out of the pocket, and the ball did go beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Good clarification there by Al Riveron.
Might have just taken his eyes off the ball there, but really...
Oh, he got the bounce of love.
He got the bounce of love, but he also shows composure. You know, it's a little thing. I mean, it's a play that he should make. He should scoop that thing up, and he should throw it out of bounds or out of harm's way. But I've seen Alex Smith through the years not make that play. I've seen him turn what could be a bad play into a disastrous play, and he didn't do it there.
Babin. Sack.
Pure pass rusher. Babin, 258 pounds, lean, streamlined, can come off the edge. You love that stance, that sprinter stance. Watch him use his hands here. Knock Davis's hands down, comes around, gets. That's what he lives for. That's what he lives for. Just give me a chance to rush the passer.
All 3 of the Eagles' sacks have come from Babin. And there's an injured Eagle on the play down near the 35-yard line. That's Trent Cole shaken up. But you got those 2 guys coming off the corner now. And Cole is a guy who's just going to come off from the sprinter stance and headbutt you.
Right.
And then Babin is going to try to beat you around the corner.
Well, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the problems that this defense has with the run and the secondary. But one thing they've got going is they've got a tremendous pass rush out of those 4 rushers. You talk about Babin and Jenkins, and you'll see Patterson sometimes in there, and Cole. And that group is special when it comes to rushing the passer.
Lee with a very nice kick. His best punt of the day. That thing's going to roll into the end zone. So a monster punt for Andy Lee. Call it 68 yards. His longest of the year. Babin loving that sack total. Call it 3 for the day. Jason Babin turning into a beast today. 7 sacks. And he made no bones about it in our meeting on Friday. He said, hey, I'm looking for sacks. I don't care who knows about it. You know, usually those guys are a little more discreet about that.
Nah, he just came right out and said it.
Vic, the quick turn route, Macklin. And Macklin across the 30 for the 1st down.
Look at Babin. Look at the stance. Down low, head almost to the ground. It's just a sprinter stance and a great get off and get in the edge. And he looks like a couple other big-time athletes around the world with that stance. You look at Trent Cole at the upper left-hand of your corner, and then Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps. A couple pretty good performers.
Good players, athletes, yeah. Babin, a strict paleo diet eater, meaning he only eats whole foods, things in the organic state. He won't look at anything that he thinks might have preservatives in it. That ball tipped away. Patrick Willis is all over it. Out to Los Angeles, and an update.
You guys talking about special athletes. Calvin Johnson's one and then some. Triple covered by the Cowboys. Still goes up and pulls this one down. His league-leading 7th touchdown reception. And the Lions, who were down by 24 in the third quarter, are now within 6 and have the football in the fourth. Ron and Jim.
Those aren't the same old Lions right there. Second and 10 throw. It's caught. Avant. He's got the first and then some. He's across midfield.
How about the weapons at Mike Vick's disposal? We know about Macklin, and we know about Jackson, and we know about LaShawn McCoy, and then here comes Avant, and we haven't even talked about Selleck yet, who's been a good tight end in the past. These guys are able to spread you out, and if they can give Mike some time, to operate in the pocket or outside of the pocket, he's got guys that he can deliver the ball to on a short, intermediate throw, a safe throw, and they can make big plays.
We just saw Deshaun Jackson holding his hamstring walking off the field. We'll try to get an injury report on him. Vick with time. And it's called a completion. Looked like it may have skipped in, but Macklin gets down low and comes up with it. And there's a look at Jackson on the sideline getting that left hamstring stretched out a little bit. And there goes the challenge flag by San Francisco.
San Francisco is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
And Jim had to do that blind because the Eagles were hurrying to the line of scrimmage.
It'll be tight.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
So we're in challenge mode. Pass across the middle. And it looked as though the ball was caught. But a second look at it from Macklin here, and I'm not quite sure. Remember, that ball can touch the ground, but it can't move while any parts of it are touching the ground. That demonstrates control, but there may not be enough visual evidence, conclusive evidence, to overturn the call on the field, which is a catch.
Well, that right there was our best look at it, and from that view, it looked like the ball did hit the ground and did move. The other views, you're right, Ronnie, it's really tough to tell. I don't know which way they're going to go here. We're about to find out. Either way, I think it's a good challenge by Harbaugh. You know, right now it's important that he doesn't let the Eagles get momentum. And the Eagles are going to hurry to the ball and their line of scrimmage, try to snap it before he had a chance to look it over. And so he throws the flag, and it looks like
it's not a catch. They're going back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Deshaun Jackson reports back in for the Eagles.
See, to me, it looks like it just moves right there. It just moves a little bit. I'm not sure that he got his right arm all the way underneath it.
And on that last pass, we've just been informed that Michael Vick.
As the receiver is going down to catch the ball goes through his hands and hits the ground. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It will be second down. Please reset the clock to show 54 in the clock.
On that last pass, Michael Vick just set a career passing record, 338 yards in a single game. There's another look.
And you can see it right there, that the ball just bounces out of his control when it hits the ground.
Hey.
I love the audio that we're getting. If you listen closely, you can hear the line calls, you can hear the communication between the officials.
Please reset the clock to show 10:14.
One of the defensive players just told me, he said, hey, that's a really nice call. You know, and a lot of that goes on out there.
That's
You're
right.
trying to butter those guys up, man. Hey, that's a heck of a call there, baby. You know, so you can get the next one.
Hey, did you butter those guys up pregame?
No, I ripped their tails. No, I buttered them up. Still am.
So no timeout loss there on the challenge by San Francisco. Nice cut block, and there goes McCoy. McCoy inside the 49er 40-yard line, getting back most of that almost catch yardage. That's Evan Mathis with the key block, a gain of 15 yards. Vic gets hit hard on this one. Now that one, I'll buy. It's not up by his head, it's on his shoulder.
I don't know what you're supposed to call and what you're not. It's become so confusing. The one-step rule, they can't hit the head. I don't know.
Let's just call it 1st and 10. And a good tackle there, and McCoy loses the lid. But Ahmad Brooks is there.
I will
Pick
say
up a
this.
punt.
I think the officials, in general, probably not in general, I think the officials, to a man, have the best interest of the game and the player in mind. And I think they are very concerned with player safety. And I think you have to give them more credit than maybe we do. They're on the field, they're seeing it in real time, and they're going to determine, hey, is that a flagrant hit? Is that a hit that was to the head? They've got to make a decision. But I think when it comes down to it, they're concerned about the game, they're concerned about the player.
Corner blitz. There comes Rodgers. Vic gets it off. And that's going nowhere. Good call there by defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, and Vic comes up limping. Intended for Macklin.
Well, that right there is what Vic Fangio wants to see, because now he's got him in 3rd and long. He's got a little gimpy Mike Vick, and expect them to bring the house on this play.
Right there, you could see Rodgers able to clip that left foot. Actually, I think he did it there. He had gotten away, then he rolled the ankle inside. Third and 9, they pick it up. Corner throw, and it's complete. Avant. 20 yards and a big first down for the Eagles. That's the play before last when he turned the ankle.
Yeah, there wasn't no hit.
I don't think he does it there. I think he does it right there. It didn't affect his arm, did it?
No.
Ronnie Brown for a few. Alden Smith, we've called his name a lot today. 7th trip into the red zone for the Eagles. But I'm sure all Eagle fans care about is whether or not they can turn it into points. Meanwhile, the 49ers come into this game ranked number 1 against the rush and forcing the most 3 and outs. They have had trouble keeping the Eagles off the board in whole. McCoy bouncing. Smith bounces with him. And then the hit out of bounds there by Shawntae Spencer. A flag goes down.
Holding number 69. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Evan Mathis.
Ronnie, I want to go back to the throw that Mike made to Avant down the field and just show you what I think has changed for Mike, and that's his ability to place the ball. And there's Avant right there working on Carlos Rogers, and then there's an outside defender there, and so Mike's got to put that ball in a specific spot, and that specific spot is the back shoulder of Avant, so he doesn't lead him into a big hit. And his ability to do that on a more consistent basis is what I see being a big improvement in his game.
That's a great throw by Vic. And a great route there by Avant. Should have been intercepted. Reggie Smith had a big interception, actually the game winner against the Bengals last week. Can't hold on. And those are the type of plays, Jimmy, as a former DB, you will think about that one until you get another one.
Well, it's such a big play because you make that play and you at least keep 3 points off the board and you keep this a 1-possession game. Now, they've still got to execute and either convert here and go in and score or make a field goal, but that's one that assures that they don't have another opportunity.
3rd and 17, Vic in trouble. No place to go. Run out of bounds at the 15. Rodgers forces him out. So last time down, the Eagles went for a field goal and missed. Alex Henry pushed it to the right. He'll get another shot.
The 49ers, Ron, have been phenomenal in the red zone today, and that's really what's kept them in this game.
33 yards out. Pushed it again. And the irony of the whole thing is, after last year's playoff loss, they got rid of Akers, brought in young blood. Hasn't looked good so far. David Akers on the left, the 12-year Philadelphia Eagle vet, bounced out to San Francisco this past offseason. They bring in the rookie. Crabtree with the reception. Rogers Cromartie on the coverage. And Akers missed a couple in the playoff game. They were big misses. And the organization felt like they had had enough. Akers went as far, because he had been here so long, as renting out a billboard just to thank the Eagles fans for the opportunity to play here. In fact, his family still lives here. But how ironic. The 4th-round pick they draft comes in, and he's got 2 misses today. Gore with the breakout. Frank Gore with a huge run. And Gore is across the 50-yard line. 25 yards for Frank Gore.
Well, that's a good-looking run by Gore. It's good to see him running well again. He struggled early this year. And if there was a defense to get healthy against running the ball, it's this Eagle defense. And the 49ers, when they decide to run the football, they've had a lot of success today.
Throw outside, hit hard, Vernon Davis, but he holds on. Asamoah hit him right in the face.
Well, I'm not sure who got hit hard there. Was it Asamoah that got hit hard, or was it Vernon? Because Vernon's a load.
A pickup of 7. Roll cleans it up. The Eagles are without Trent Cole, their big-time pass rusher on the other side of Babin. He has got an injured calf. That could come into play, probably already has come into play in this drive.
Absolutely.
Philip Hunt steps in his place. Ooh, a hard hit there on Hunter. Brian Roll came up pounding, and a flag goes down. What are you thinking there, Jimmy? Face mask?
Personal foul, face mask.
That's what I was thinking, Ronnie.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
No, that's what it looked like from up here. And you talked about Babin and how the loss of Trent Cole has affected him. In this series, Babin has been playing the right end position as opposed to his customary left end position.
So now, all of a sudden, the 49ers here starting to push the ball down the field. Actually, they've been pushing it down the field most of the second half, but you get one big play, one big chunk run.
They've been extremely impressive this second half, and I'm sure this is what Jim Harbaugh wants this offense to look like.
Look for Hunter, wasn't there, then threw it out of bounds. Another good decision there by Smith. I'm not saying it's brain surgery, but Joshua Morgan was well covered.
There is no foul.
And he didn't try to force it.
Let's go back and look at the face mask here. And let's see if it is legit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got him underneath the face mask. He lifts the chin strap off the chin. That's definitely a face mask. Big, big, big call.
Second and 10 throw, Davis. Davis has been active today. Davis taken down quickly by Jared Page, a pickup of 3. 4 catches for 45 yards on the day for Davis, bringing up a 3rd and 7. Here comes the noise.
And this is when you want Trent Cole in there to give you that speed off the edge. You'll see Babin once again lined up on the right side here. I'm not sure if that's for matchup. And here's Babin, key guy on 3rd downs today.
Quick toss. Hunter looking for a lane. And he's got the 1st down. So every time they need a big play, it seems like they dial up either Vernon Davis or Kendall Hunter. And that's 14 yards.
Yeah, and you know what? Vernon Davis did an outstanding job on that play of coming across in motion and then pinning Jason Babin inside. And they took advantage. There's Vernon Davis. Here's Babin. And watch him pin him down inside. They pull the tackle, and they're off to the races. But, you know, Vernon Davis says, hey, you know what? We talked about this. I don't want to block. I don't like the block. I hate the block. He says, but when a block like that results in a 1st down, a 14-yard run, I'll block all day.
Saquaga in at the fullback. Gore picking his way. Gore's got a lane. Gore in for the touchdown. Now the question is he in? It's being reviewed right now as the new rule this year. It's ruled a touchdown. They'll automatically review it.
That one ought to stand,
The
Ronnie.
previous play will be reviewed.
Al Riveron has just made the mention.
He's in.
From that angle, looks like he's well in.
Yeah, he's in. He uses Asante Samuel's body to propel him into the end zone, so no part of his body is on the ground. His forearm's not on the ground, his elbow's not on the ground, his knee's not on the ground, his side's not on the ground. That's a touchdown. I'd be very surprised if they overturn this.
If they count it, that's 10 rushes for 101 yards for Frank Gore. And I thought he had a bad ankle.
Should have had a bad ankle the first 3 weeks.
It gives some credit to Kendall Hunter. He'll only get credit thus far for 8 carries, 40 yards. But 2 receptions for 62 yards has been the difference. Every time they've gotten in the end zone, it seems like Hunter has come up with a big play somewhere in the middle of the field.
You know, I said earlier in the broadcast that Jim Harbaugh couldn't give us an answer as to what was ailing his running game. Well, maybe he just didn't want to give us the answer, because obviously he has the answer. He rushed for 129 yards today. Maybe the answer is just going against this defense.
Right now, Mike Pereira, our official expert out in Los Angeles, is standing by. Mike, it looked from this end like a pretty clear touchdown. What did you think?
Well, the first part that hits the ground that puts him down is the left forearm. So that shot down the line, that's the one they're going to have to look at to see where the ball breaks the plane. Watch the left forearm here. That's when he's first down. Now, to me, this certainly is not enough to overturn the call, because you don't get that look down the line. But that's what they're focusing on this point. And because, as you see, and Coach said it great, he used the body, and he's not down until that, the body of the defender, and he really is not down to that point. Close play, but I think this stands as a touchdown.
And here's the call.
The ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
What a great deal to have Mike Pereira there for us, because we've needed him today, haven't we?
Absolutely.
We've had some calls that were tough to make, and he just has such a great knowledge of the rules, and he can put it in layman's terms.
Hey, Mike, if I have trouble with a boarding pass at the airport, can you help me with that too?
Mike will tell you that might be the first time
Thanks.
I've ever said anything nice about him. We used to have some great Monday discussions. They weren't always pleasant.
So it's been reviewed. The call in the field stands. And Akers will try to fix this tie situation. It's up. It's good. It's clean. 21 unanswered points by the 49ers. And let's go back out to Mike Pereira. Mike.
Hey, Coach. Come
Yeah,
on. What do you
Mike.
mean Monday conversations?
I know,
How about the
halftime.
Sunday ones? The Sunday one and the halftime one.
I
still go down in my record book as the only one they call me at halftime.
We're playing the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm upset. I'm so upset about a call that Mike made the mistake of giving me his cell phone. I called him from the locker room at halftime to complain about a call. Typically, he said, "What the heck is going on? I've never had a head coach call me at halftime."
I'm eating a piece of cold pizza. I mean, and I get the call from, I said, it's only a 12-minute half. How can you be on the phone with me?
I just wanted to hear your lovely voice.
All right. Mike, thank you very much. Stand by. We might have to get you one more time. You never know. All right, Mike Pereira, our official expert here at Fox. And boy, he's earned his money with us today.
No kidding. I'm glad we have him.
From the first call early in the first quarter on the lateral, no lateral, fumble, no fumble, to this right here, and the 49ers with 3 minutes left have taken a 1-point lead.
And how about if it comes down to a rookie kicker that's missed a couple field goals today?
Nice high, long kick, and that'll be a touchback. We'll strap in and buckle down for Animation Domination, the whirlwind event. Don't miss a flurry of new episodes that are a part of one mind-blowing night. Animation Domination's whirlwind event. It all starts tonight at 6 Central, right here on Fox. And we've had a whirlwind type of game as you look at Alex Henry, 4th-round pick out of Nebraska.
He's just praying for a touchdown right now.
Came into the game with only 1 miss. He's got 2 big ones today. Quick throw and a vicious hit by Deshaun Goldson. Avant will feel that one for a while, but he picks up 5.
You're there, solid.
Long throw outside and a first down. That's Macklin. Culliver on the coverage. A pickup of 8. Let's go back to that hit. He didn't have a chance. Great job of holding the ball.
If you want to teach young kids how to tackle, that's how you tackle. Chest to chest. You wrap them up. You drive your feet through. You roll your hips. Clinic. Clinic, Ronnie.
The coach said it. Looks like some movement. Flags go down. The catch is secured by Jackson. Brooks looked like he left early. Reed signaling declining the penalty. A little problem there with Al Riveron's mic as Brooks steps out. Now, Jim, this is the time for Michael Vick and this offense to move. I mean, they've put up a humongous amount of yards today, 487 total yards. But now, at the 2-minute mark, you're down by 1.
Yeah, they need 60 more.
Quick throw. And that's complete for a first down. Avant.
Just a great use of movement by Andy Reid and his play calling. Marty Morningwood, the offensive coordinator, getting Mike on the move, moving him away from pressure, getting the ball to the outside in the flat or on the comeback so they're not having to use their timeouts. You know, they've 2:24 left on the clock. They've got 2 timeouts. They don't have to be in a big hurry here. They're doing a nice job executing their 2-minute offense so far.
49er defense looking to make a stop. That ball is tipped, intended for Jackson. They were going to throw the wide receiver screen. But it looks like Brooks got a hand on it. Game of inches, huh?
Well, yeah, and it's a really good play because you get Deshaun Jackson the ball out on the edge in the open field. Ooh, goodness sakes. Hold your breath.
Second time Brooks moves. Free play for Vic, and he can't get out. Aldon Smith.
Well, there's two problems with those types of penalties. Number one, it obviously makes it 2nd and 5. But number two, it stops the clock. And the one thing that you want happening right now if you're the San Francisco 49ers, you want the clock running. You want the Eagles having to use their timeouts. And when you jump off sides like that, then the clock stops.
Al Riveron's microphone not working. That's an offside there against Brooks. Fake the run, quick throw outside. Macklin's going to run. Macklin loses the ball, and it's recovered by San Francisco. Justin Smith stripped it out. And there's an injured Eagle on the play. So here's a look at the fumble.
I talked about this at the top of the broadcast. The first couple series, I said the Eagles were being loose with the football. And it wasn't costing them because they were down. And here it cost them. Critical moment in the game. Poor ball security. Doesn't have it tucked away. Could cost them the game. You talk about those little things that make a difference. And early in the game, they didn't get it corrected. And now it's going to end up potentially costing them this game. And that's not excusable. Ronnie, that's inexcusable. That should not happen at this level, especially when you've seen clues during the game leading up to that.
Deshaun Goldson recovered the fumble, but that man right there, Justin Smith, knocks it out.
Effort, big time effort. How about a defensive end getting all the way down the field on a quick screen and knocking the ball out? And that's what you preach as a defensive coordinator. The play is never over. It takes all 11. Man, go after the football, and Justin Smith makes a big play there. Now, the Eagles still have a chance here. They're going to run a play. It's going to go down to the 2-minute, and they've still got 2 timeouts to use after 2nd down and after 3rd down. So if they can come up big on defense here, they're going to give themselves a chance to have another shot at it.
Jason Peters gets off the field. We'll have a play here, and most likely the 2-minute warning. Gore lines up in the backfield for the 49ers. Gore looking cutback, and that's too much for the Eagles, but just the right amount for San Francisco. That's a pickup of 4. Allen on the tackle.
Okay, and Andy used his timeout here before the 2-minute, so he's going to get the clock stoppage after the 2nd down play, and then depending on what happens, have a chance to stop it again after 3rd down.
And the Eagles have blown some 4th quarter leads. They have collapsed week 2 versus Atlanta. 8 minutes left in the 4th. Michael Turner with a 61-yard run. The Falcons go on to win 35-31. Last week at home here against the Giants. 8:07 left in the 4th. Victor Cruz with a monster day with this 28-yard touchdown catch. The Giants pull one out 29-16.
How about this Niner team, Ronnie? 2 weeks in a row on the East Coast, they decide after the Bengals game last week to stay in Ohio. A little bit unconventional rather than flying back across the coast. We talked to a lot of the players yesterday. They liked it. They liked the fact that they didn't have the jet lag. They liked the fact that they got to know some of their teammates. And if they can come away with the win today, boy, the things that Jim Harbaugh is selling them, they are just solidified, and they will all be in.
Sabaga in the backfield. Gore again. Gore with a bounce, and Gore is going to get a 1st down, and that's a killer. A huge 1st down as we hit the 2-minute warning. The 49ers looking for their first back-to-back road win since 2006. The Eagles jumped out early in the first half. 4 unanswered scores, 20-3 at halftime. And then the 49ers came back. A couple big runs, Kendall Hunter involved. Frank Gore, supposedly with a bad ankle, has gone over the 100-yard rushing mark, and it's been 21 unanswered points for the San Francisco 49ers. And now a huge first down by Gore. Gore pounding inside again, and the Eagles just can't seem to stop the run when they need to right now.
Well, not only when they need to, but they haven't been able to stop it all year. Let's go back, and here's Justin Smith here, and this is the caused fumble. I want you to watch the effort. This is a big man now, okay? This isn't just some little track star. Look at his effort running down the field, and then the layout and the ability to get his left hand in there and strip the ball. That is what defensive coordinators dream about, having guys as high energy, high effort, guys like this who really care about football. They care about their teammates. They never take themselves out of a play. It'd be nice if you get some shoulder pads that fit, but besides that, I mean, those look like hockey shoulder pads.
Smith, originally a first-round pick by the Bengals back in 01.
He just looks like a ball player, doesn't he? Goatee going, chopped up hair.
He went to his first
tattoos.
That's right.
Gunned up.
Went to his first Pro Bowl last year, and Gore just keeps on pounding. Gore a yard shy of the first. And you already mentioned how the 49ers decided to switch things up a little bit, stay back here on this part of the country, this part of the East Coast, so to speak. You know, some guys liked it, some guys didn't, but everyone, if they pull out the win today, will like the result.
Well, here's what happens when you're a head coach and you're new, like Jim Harbaugh is you sell something to players. You know what? We're going to stay on the East Coast, all right? And it's going to help us win this game. If it doesn't work, they all just go, oh, he's full of it. And you lose a little credibility. But when it works, like it appears that it's working today, you gain huge credibility with your team. And now, going forward, just about everything you tell them, they'll be sitting on the edge of their chair just saying, okay, coach, tell us what's next. How are we going to win? Because they have so much belief in what you're preaching. So these are key moments in the development of that chemistry between head coach and team. I go back to my first year in 2004, and we're playing the Rams, and we knew we had to stop the Rams. And I said, hey, we're going to get an onside kick, and we're going to recover it, and we're going to go on and win. And I'm just praying. And dang if it didn't happen, and they start believing.
Here's what they did last week. They came into Cincinnati, beat the Bengals in a low-scoring game, went to Youngstown, Ohio, stayed there the whole week, then went to Philadelphia here. And the reason they went to Youngstown, Ohio, there is family history with the DeBartolo family being from Youngstown, Ohio. They set up there, practiced all week, and stayed in tune. And look at Gore. Gore getting stronger as the game goes on. And I already mentioned this would be the 49ers' first back-to-back road win since 2006. It would be their first back-to-back road win on the East Coast since 2001.
Well, there's a shot of Juan Castillo there, and the 49ers, who were dead last in the NFL in offense, came out and put up 446 yards and 24 points on this defense. So they need to do some soul searching. They've got to figure out what's wrong with their defense, because offensively, you put up 510 points, that's pretty good. Now,
win.
They got to get more points out of their red zone offense, though.
1-point victory by the San Francisco 49ers, 24-23. And that's how it'll end here in Philadelphia. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.